Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today, ladies and gentlemen, to put it bluntly, things went and got a little silly. That VMAX Climax over in Japan, which is translating to Brilliant Stars over here. We've shown all those character rares lately, and a lot of them look really good, but we've yet to see one so far which is really over the top. You could argue the Pikachu VMAX character rare, which is a VMAX, so the pull rate is going to be far, far lower, and it's Pikachu, and it's red. Well, yeah, it turns out it's a Charizard. There's another one we'll look at in a moment, but I think we probably need to start off looking at the Charizard, because VMAX Climax, and therefore by extension Brilliant Stars, has just gone and got a little bit silly. Overnight, the lovely folks over on the official Pokémon website over in Japan went and revealed a couple new character rares, as they tend to do, and this is one we need to get to pretty much immediately, because it's a Charizard. And the thing is, and most of you probably know this, turns out Charizard cards are actually pretty gosh darn popular. And if you want to sell a set, if you want to make a set good, generally a lot of the time what Pokemon does is they go and pop a Charizard in. Shining Fates, that was a pretty good set, that was a special set. What did they do with Shining Fates? Well, they went and popped a Charizard in. They went and gave you that shiny Charizard VMAX. Yeah, that one. That's pretty sought after, if we're honest. That's one that people tend to like. But not to be outdone, of course, in Champion's Path, you did have the shiny Charizard, which was pretty gosh darn good. That was one that people kind of liked. And let's not forget, of course, we've just had Celebrations, and in Celebrations, we did have the reprint of base set Charizard. So we do tend to find that Charizard being popped into sets does tend to make them, I think it's fair to say, more exciting sets. Well, now we've got this Charizard character rare, and to be perfectly blunt with you, what this is going to do by itself is instantly make VMAX Climax a much more appealing set. Because this is now going to be the most sought after of the character rares. It's the one people think is going to be worth the most in terms of reselling, or grading, or the one that's worth keeping the most, and that is going to make this a way more appealing set than it was before. And I've got to give props here. It's a beautiful card. I mean, Leon is a pretty popular character himself, but this is wonderful, wonderful artwork. I mean, to be fair, I've been showing you these character rares as they've been coming out. The character rare artwork as a whole has been absolutely stunning, but this is just next level. It's such a wonderful card. You know, it's not the Alchemy, and I think I've been pretty clear at this stage that nothing is as good as the Alchemy, but let's be clear, this is an absolutely wonderful, phenomenal card. Even if Charizard wasn't this behemoth in the Pokemon TCG, I would still think this was an amazing card, and it would still be one people would want just for the artwork and for Leon and all of that. But it is a Charizard. And then, of course, we've got to ask what the knock-on effect is going to be with Brilliant Stars. And I think at this stage it's worth pointing out, we do not know if this card is going to be in Brilliant Stars. It might be, but it's not guaranteed. You see, the other character rare I need to show you in today's video is Duraludon VMAX. It's amazing, we'll get there in a moment. But Duraludon VMAX is relevant here is because it's number 253 out of 184. The latest one we've seen so far is your Blissey, which is actually 254, which makes it basically 70 of these character rares, which is clearly a little bit high. And we did this in a video the other day, we talked about it, we don't need to go over it in too much detail here, but basically we have had it actually confirmed, proper announced confirmation that Brilliant Stars is going to have 30 character rares. That is a thing, that is official, that is actually confirmed. It was in the press release, the product description, we know there are going to be 30. Which means that we're actually going to get fewer than half of the character rares from VMAX Climax popped into Brilliant Stars. So does that mean we get this Charizard, or do we not get this Charizard? And the answer is, I don't know. Because as it stands at the moment, we've got a Charizard in Brilliant Stars. Charizard is on the artworks of one of the booster packs, and that's because we're getting Charizard V-Star. And because we're getting Charizard V-Star, we're getting a new Charizard V coming in here as well. So we don't really need any more Charizard in Brilliant Stars. I don't think that's a controversial statement. We've got enough Charizard. If there's Charizard V-Star and Charizard Character Rare both being in Brilliant Stars, and that is an actual possibility, but it is not confirmed. If anybody tells you it's confirmed, they are lying or they're extrapolating based on completely inadequate information, which is not a million miles away, quite frankly. It might not be in the set. Unless there are other secret rares, and we're getting close to the reveal of the set and we have not seen any others, then there are 70 character rares in VMAX Climax, and we know for a fact there are 30 in Brilliant Stars. We cannot say that Charizard is in Brilliant Stars. The best we can say is there is a good chance that it is. If it is, Brilliant Stars just became an absolutely crazy set, because you got the Charizard character rare and the Charizard V-Star. That is a lot for one set. But even if it's not, there will be another set. We will get this Charizard character rare somewhere down the line. Whatever set it's in is going to be nuts. And over in Japan, VMAX Climax now just became absolutely amazing, because all of a sudden we've now got this Charizard in. It was already looking like a phenomenal set with all these character rares and all of that. Now we got this Charizard as well. It's getting a bit silly. And like we've seen with so many of the others, this Charizard has actually been around the block. So it is the Charizard from Vivid Voltage, really nice ability, Battle Sense. Let's look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put one in your hand and discard the others. And then for 2 energy, you do 100 damage, plus 50 more for each Leon in your discard pile. Of course, the regular artwork of Charizard actually does have Leon on, and there is that beautiful combo with the Leon card, which I find absolutely lovely, but I think it's fair to say now that this is a little bit better. Was also a pre-release card, of course, and it's fun to note that that exact artwork from the pre-release has already been confirmed to be one of the cards in VMAX Climax, because as we've talked about in a couple of videos, basically, we got this card before Japan, they needed to put it somewhere, putting it in here made perfect sense. So actually in VMAX Climax, they've got the regular Charizard, but it's brand new artwork, and now they've got the character rare as well. The hype for this set just went through the roof, and it is a beautiful card, so it's really not unexpected, it's just the way it is. But let's not sleep on this Duraludon VMAX. It is only the second VMAX of which we've seen a character rare in this set, the first one being the aforementioned Pikachu VMAX, and it's interesting to note that Duraludon VMAX is getting an alternate art card in VMAX Climax. It's a very subtle alternate art. It's one that an awful lot of people did not notice when it was first revealed, and frankly for good reason. It does not look like an alternate art until you really take a nice long close look at it. So we've got that alternate art here, and we've got the character art VMAX as well. That is kind of ridiculous. And I mean, I don't need to tell you, you can see it on the screen. The artwork here with Raihan and all of that is absolutely ridiculous. It is a phenomenal looking card. And I know that Raihan is a very popular character as well. It's one that people tend to love. So yeah, this is a card which people are really going to be after as well. And you got the cityscape behind you, Raihan riding on Duraludon, not unlike Pikachu riding on a Wailmer. And man, I love this card as well. There is no way, I told you in previous videos, there is no way I'm going to be able to collect all 70 of these character rares. And that makes me sad, because they are absolutely beautiful. They are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful cards. And Duraludon is still one of those cards. I remain convinced that Duraludon is a very good card, and I know it's been having some decent finishes in online tournaments lately, so maybe it could come back. The ability prevents all damage done to it by any Pokemon with special energy attached. That is kind of ridiculous. And it's got an attack for free energy that does 220 and goes through anything. And it's your classic VMAX 1-hit KO Pokemon v 2-hit KO VMAXs. But It's really quite easy to get rolling, and it's a single strike Pokemon, so you've got all that stuff to do extra damage, and you've got an ability which basically stops your opponent using special energy. I love Duraludon VMAX. It's one of my favourite cards, or my favourite VMAXs that's really ever come out. It's one of my absolute favourites. Now you're telling me there's this amazing character rare. I'll probably never be able to afford it, but I'm hopefully going to be opening a couple boxes on the channel, so maybe it will be in one of those. That would be lovely. And it's weird because as much as I want to pull the Alchemy, and I do, I know that's not going to settle as a very expensive card, because the Alchemy's fine but not great. And Alchemy's a moderately popular Pokemon, but it's really not top tier. And you've got Cafe Master, who is just kind of a generic character. There's no way that the Alchemy becomes one of the more expensive cards. It's going to be the Charizard, the Pikachu, the Duraludon. So I don't know. As much as I want to pull the Alchemy, I might be better off hoping I pull the bigger cards and just buying this one later. But then pulling that Alchemy would be a rush. Either way, both of the cards they've gone and revealed today are just absolutely stunning cards. They're both extremely interesting cards for all the reasons I've outlined. And if you haven't pre-ordered VMAX Climax, it just got harder. Like, genuinely, and I know it's not a particularly easy set to actually pre-order at the moment. I know it's a little bit awkward. But frankly, if you haven't got your pre-order in yet, this one card being in the set just made it a whole bunch more difficult. Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Fingers crossed. But now I want to hear from you guys. I want to know how excited you are by these cards. I want to know how much you want that Charizard, or how much you want to ride on a Duraludon through a city. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.